What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about 4 heroes. The first one is going to be Johnny, the new legendary hero coming this Friday in the Miracle Wishes. Then we are going to talk about Noque, the new epic hero. And finally, we are going to talk about Vilette and Edith because they are going to be reworked tomorrow. So first of all, let's concentrate on Johnny. This is a new legendary hero from the Hidden Wave faction, defense type unit with the green mark. He's gonna scale his damage over his defense, so the type is great because he's gonna have more initial defense. He looks like Edith in some way because if you have a look to that skill, at the beginning of the wave, he's gonna grant Master to the hero with the highest amount of attack in your team, and he is gonna sometimes, not all the time, take up to 3 debuffs each turn from that hero with Master on him. This is worse than Edith because Edith is guaranteed to take the debuffs. But apparently there is a chance to make him being the main target instead. And by the way, I don't know what does that mean exactly. Is it gonna be the main target of the debuffs only? That means your hero with the highest amount of attack is gonna tank the damage? Or is he also gonna tank the damage, the attack, instead of your other hero? I don't know yet. We are gonna have to wait and try that to see. There is a chance, so if it is 20% chance, this is bad. If it's 50%, that's a bit better. If it's 80%, something like that, around that coefficient, it might be strong. But remember that Edith does better, so maybe Edith at the end is gonna be better than that hero. Who knows? Let's have a look to the other skills. Then the basic attack deals 3 stages of defense to damage to a single enemy, and each stage is going to transfer 1 layer of debuff from self to the target. And I think this is not going to work that well, in fact, because when you have a look to the other skills of the hero, he's going to have a chance to be immune to debuffs. And so, if you are immune to debuff, what debuff are you gonna transfer to the target, right? I think the kit is a bit broken in that way, and I don't know if it's gonna be that efficient, to be honest. When you have a look to that skill, it's gonna be another passive. When he's gonna be inflicted with a debuff, there is a chance to be immune to it. If the chance is 50%, that's great in a way because he will half of the time be immune to debuffs, right? So that's great. But if it's only 20%, that's not gonna be that often, but you are still gonna be inflicted with debuffs, and so you are gonna be able to transfer the debuffs to the target. But there is an exclusive that is going to change that a bit. We are going to talk about that later. And then every time he's going to immune himself to debuffs, he's going to heal himself and get 1 layer of loaded cannon. Up to 4 layers can be owned without exclusives, and in fact it's going to increase the damage dealt on the ultimate. Ultimate, 2 stages of defense damage to all enemies. Every 1 layer of loaded cannon is going to increase the defense damage on the second stage. So up to 4 layers, maybe you are gonna deal nice damage on the ultimate, who knows. So when you have a look to the exclusives now, on the first one, he's also gonna get 1 layer of loaded cannon when he's gonna get a buff. Up to 6 layers can be owned, and that's better, because if he deals nice damage on the ultimate, you are gonna deal a bit more because it's gonna be super easy to get some buffs on your hero, and so you're gonna have loaded cannons more often and deal more damage on the ultimate more often. So maybe it might be nice, but one more time, it's gonna depend on the damage coefficients on skills. Exclusive level 2. Each time Darling's Shooter, this is the basic attack, transfer 1 layer of debuff successfully to the target, or when the passive there is gonna be triggered, that means you are gonna immune to a debuff. Then he's gonna get 1 layer of heavy encore, up to 8 layers can be owned, and for 3 turns only, during which he's gonna have 4% more defense and resistance. If that buff was permanent, it could be nice, but it's during only 3 turns, so I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Some heroes can stack more defense over time and the buff are permanent and they are gonna deal interesting damage. But then it lasts only 3 turns and he's gonna have more resistance. That also means that he won't take he will take less debuffs during the fight if he has that buff, and so his mechanic won't work that well, in fact. I don't know what to think about that, but tell me in the comment below what you understood. This, in my opinion, it seems broken, but not in the good way. Then the level 3 exclusive, he has 50% chance to be immune to control effect. Okay, that's great in a way, because being immune to control effect gives you a huge advantage in PvP, for example, and in the faction abyss against the last boss also. But if you are half of the time immune to control effect, and also I don't know the coefficient, but if you are immune to all the other debuffs, you won't be able to transfer debuffs, and you will maybe not proc that often the exclusive level 2. I don't know how it is gonna work though. Then also on the exclusive level 3, when the passive is gonna be triggered, he's gonna grant all allies effect resistance up to for 2 turns. So that's gonna be great. If he is immune really often, you are gonna have resistance up to on your heroes. He's gonna have more defense and resistance over time, and so maybe he's gonna start dealing more damage, and it might be nice, right? But one more time, it's gonna depend on the coefficients. So in fact, I don't know what to think about that hero. I don't think that he is gonna be a must-have, to be honest. So now let's concentrate on the second new hero, Noque, an epic hero from the same faction, attack type unit with a green mark as well. That hero is gonna deal more damage on targets with attribute debuffs and normal debuffs, and if he has more buffs on himself. So let's have a look to his kit. We don't know yet about the coefficient, and in fact he cannot apply many things to the targets. Only 2 debuffs, defense down 1 only, and tenacity down 1 only as well. I don't know why they are doing that. Okay, that's an epic hero, but we had many great epic heroes in the past who can apply buffs level 2 and debuffs level 2 to the target, so I don't know why that one should apply only defense down 1 and tenacity down 1. It doesn't matter. Basic attack damage to a single enemy. For every layer of attribute debuffs owned by the target, he's gonna deal 10% up to 50% more attack damage. So depending on the coefficient, it might be interesting. First active skill and core combo. Same skill, in fact. He is just gonna release another stage of attack damage to the same enemy, and with the same damage increase, but that time not only for attribute debuffs owned by the target, but for every kind of debuff owned by the target. So that's a bit better. And now the passive. He's gonna reduce the skill damage he's gonna take, but you know what? Great idea. He's gonna take more basic attack damage. So it's an epic hero, okay? You release an epic hero to deal some maybe interesting damage to enemies. You apply some buffs to him, and then you nerf him. I don't know the goal of doing that, to be honest. In my opinion, this is a bad way to design heroes, but who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong, and maybe his damage are gonna be really strong, but we don't know anything yet, so I don't know. Ultimate, 2 stages of attack damage to all enemies that time. He has a chance to defense down them by 20% on 2 turns, and the second stage has a chance to inflict tenacity down 1 on them for 2 turns. Not a great one. Level 1 exclusive and core combo, so that's the first active skill, reduces the target's turn meter by 20%, and if the target has some attribute debuffs, he is additionally gonna reduce the turn meter by 4% per attribute debuff, up to 20% in total, so up to 40% depending on the number of attribute debuffs owned by the target. Why not? Exclusive level 2. When he deals damage, for every 1 layer of buff he has on himself, he's gonna deal an extra 10% crit damage up to 50%. So if you pair that with the other bonuses, depending on the debuffs on enemies, maybe he's gonna start dealing nice damage. Exclusive level 3. For every 1 layer of debuff owned by the target, he's also going to increase the damage of the basic attack and the first active skill by 15%, up to 75% can be increased. So one more time, he is a pure direct damage dealer, and maybe his damage are going to be nice, but it's going to depend on the damage coefficients on his skills. So I don't know. And finally, let's talk about the two heroes that are getting a rework. The first one is Vilette. So now, she might be a great support because of the Ripple 2 passively on your heroes, increasing your basic attack damage by 40%. She's gonna heal a lot passively. She can heal also using the first active skill and cleanse many debuffs on your heroes and remove buffs from enemies. Speed down 1, okay, why not? That's on the basic attack. She can also deal maybe a lot of damage to enemies. It's gonna cap on their max HP, 18% of their max HP in one attack, but it's gonna cap at 54% of her own max HP. So the more the HP on Vilette, the higher the damage she's gonna deal to them. Inflict feebleness 2 to them, and that's amazing. That's amazing in my opinion. Also wet 2, so they are gonna deal 40% less. I think that's basic attack damage. So that's great. But that's not everything, because if you have a look to the exclusive, on the first exclusive, when you are gonna use the first active skill, she's also gonna grant block debuff to all your heroes for 1 turn. And that's a great debuff to have. 1 turn is not that great, because if you take a Norque, he can apply that for 2 turns on your heroes, but 1 turn is still great. If you are using her in the last position, if you're in your team, she can protect your heroes from taking debuffs. That's great for the faction abyss and maybe for other kind of content in the game, depending on the heroes you are going to have in your team. The exclusive level 2 might be really nice for PvP, but I guess that it's gonna work only on one hero every 3 turns. When one of your hero is gonna fall down below 30% HP, she is gonna cleanse all debuffs from the target immediately, heal him by 12% of her max HP, and then depending on the number of afflatus she has on herself, she is also gonna heal an extra 1.5% HP on the target. But it has a 3 turns cooldown. This is why I think it can work only on one hero every 3 turns. And the exclusive level 3 might be great for every content. You are using the ultimate with her. You are gonna inflict 3 layers of raging waves on all enemies for 2 turns, and every time you're gonna use a skill on them, you're gonna remove 1 layer of raging wave and inflict 8% of their max HP in damage. It's gonna cap at 24% of Vilette's max HP. That's some extra passive damage, so the more the HP on Vilette, one more time, the higher the damage. It's not heavy damage though, but it might help a lot during the fight. So I think that she's clearly not gonna be broken, but she's gonna finally be a great support. So now, you know what, let's talk about Edith, and you are gonna see that she went from bad hero to bad hero as well, and this is a different hero, but she is still really bad, and maybe she's gonna be worse than before. So let's talk about her skill. The basic attack, less damage, 60% less damage. You are gonna still have the same chance to inflict a wet 2 on the target. This is a single target attack, and if the target has wet 2, you have a chance to inflict feebleness 1 for 2 turns. So no, it's not return a chance to inflict, you are gonna inflict feebleness 1, so it's guaranteed to inflict that. Feebleness 1, that's a freaking legendary hero with a level 1 debuff only, and that's not everything, because if you have a look to the first active skill, she's gonna deal almost the same as before, 5 magical water balls, prioritizing different enemies. So if you have 5 enemies, you are gonna launch 1 magical water ball to every enemy. Each attack is gonna remove 2 layers of random buff from the target, and then you are gonna have some chance, and it's not even 100% chance, to inflict speed down 1 only. What the hell is that? That's another legendary hero, and it looks like an epic hero. And that looks really bad. But if you have a look to the first exclusive, it's gonna enhance that skill, okay? So instead of removing 2 layers of buff per attack, it's gonna remove 3, so that's better. But then you are gonna have some chance to inflict speed down 2 instead of speed down 1. But if you have multiple enemies in front, it's never gonna work, because the condition to apply speed down 2 is the following. If you attack continuously the same target 3 times in a row, then you are going to inflict speed down 2. But you have only 5 stages of attack, so if you have 5 enemies, it's going to prioritize different enemies, and so you are going to have 1 attack on all enemies. Nobody in front is going to have speed down 2. If you have 3 enemies, you're gonna have 1 attack on each, and then 1 extra attack on 2 enemies. And so it will never work. If you have only 2 enemies, you are gonna have 2 attacks on each, and 1 only is gonna have the speed down. So what the hell is that? Just tell me. So normally when you rework a hero, he is supposed to be better after the rework, right? I think... I don't understand that. You are gonna see the other skills, okay? So on the passive, completely changed. Now she can land crits. Before she wasn't able to land crits. So if you are targeting a single target, for example a boss, maybe she is gonna deal more damage than before. And maybe on a single target she's gonna be better. But she can grant Resolute 2 on herself now when she lands a crit. So she's gonna have 40% more skill damage for the next turn. So that's encouraging. Then she is gonna have some turn meter increase at the beginning of the wave for every 50% crit damage exceeding 150% up to 12% maximum can be increased that way. So if you have 200% crit damage on her, you are gonna have 7.2% turn meter increase at the beginning of the wave. If you have 300, you are gonna have that for 200, 250, 300, 350. 400 crit damage, you are gonna have 12% turn meter at the beginning of the wave instead. If you have the exclusive 3, every time she's gonna end a turn, she's gonna recover that amount of turn meter directly. So that's cool. That's not a lot, but that's cool. But some heroes, one more time, are doing better. If you take, for example, Wu, he's gonna take a ton of turn meter increase passively. And probably he's gonna deal more damage than her. But who knows? So if you have looked to the ultimate, that time you are gonna have way less damage than before. But you have also 50% chance to apply a block buff on all enemies for 1 turn. That's almost useless. If you have a Catherine in front of you in PvP, then enemies will have a buff on them because she's gonna cleanse that. If you have a Pauline, it's never gonna work because he will cleanse that as well. So I don't know why they designed the hero that way. It looks like an epic hero. We didn't talk about the exclusive level 2 for now, so let's have a look to it. On the passive, when she lands a crit, she grants all allies Resolute 2 for 1 turn instead of on herself only. So, I don't know what to think about the hero. She is maybe worse than before. Tell me what you think about that in the comment below. Maybe she's gonna be interesting versus a boss only. I don't know what to think about that, but in my opinion, she still sucks. So let's talk about the patch note now. We have a few things to talk about. So this is the banner of this Friday. Concentrate on maybe having Seth or Nilua. They are the best in the banner, the heroes that you're gonna use more often. Nilua for PvP, Seth for PvE, and also he can be great for PvP as well. Vilette can be better, way better than Edith, and maybe she's gonna be a nice support today after the rework, and so concentrate on them. Marvel can be great, but I would recommend to pull for the others before Marvel. We are gonna have some new events from March 4th to March 11th. Maybe we are gonna have good rewards in it. We don't know yet. They are gonna give us the new epic hero Noque, 4 copies of him on a sign-in event during 7 days, some extra stamina, supreme runes, an exclusive avatar, why not, a free regression event for the 2 heroes reworked, Vilette and Edith. So if you build them before the event, you are going to be able to regress them for free. So if you want to try them, you can do that and then regress them if you want. And then also the hero of the quest in March is going to be Bull, and Bull is a great hero and probably way better than Edith. And finally, a feature adjustments adjusted the priority of displaying heroes effects. Faction effects have higher priority than normal buffs now. Why not? So that was all for the video. Tell me what do you think about the heroes, about the reworked. In my opinion, that guy might be less effective than Edith. He is clearly not a must-have, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's gonna start doing a high damage based on his defense. Maybe it's a great hero for that. So we will have to wait and see the coefficient. That guy might look strong in terms of direct damage, and Vilette is probably now a great support, but Edith, she is gonna suck as before. So that was all for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If it's the case, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice day, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.